What we do, I think I'll have time to roll it out. What amounts to 4 hours. As we gain more and better information, we will make an application to the endowment to reserve to address so while we're working on getting the position completed,
If they get funding.
So, and my house has just stuff like video options, like how we can resolve any final,
Somebody contact me because why I spend
one option, right by $500,000.
Oh, okay. If they don't get funding.
well, and we're going to write it in such a way that we ask for it all, but we do it the other way.
Our
Larry.
All those in favor say aye. And motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Donna, oath of office for our newest member. Oh, Judy. Thank you.
We specifically solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the constitutional laws of the United States, the constitutional laws of the state of North Carolina, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position as a member of CFPUA Public Facilities Authority.
Welcome, Mr. Smith. It's nice to have another engineer on the board. Keep all you non-engineers. Okay. Next, we have an awards presentation.
From Carl.
All right. I'll go ahead and ask for all the wastewater treatment staff to go ahead and come on up. Because today, I'm just super happy for these folks and really proud to announce that the National Association of Clean Water Agencies has recognized CFPUA for excellence in wastewater treatment as measured by continuous compliance with our MPPS permit for the entire calendar year of 2022. So this Peak Performance Award program offers national recognition for the hard work and commitment to excellence that CFPUA wastewater treatment staff put forth every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, on behalf of the environment as well as the community. Again, this year, both our wastewater treatment plants, the North Side plant and the South Side plant, received the Gold Peak Award. And this is the second time in a row that our facilities have been recognized for exceptional efforts by all the staff at both of our treatment plants. So with that, Craig Wilson and I, and on behalf of the board, are honored to present this year's NACWA Gold Peak Performance Awards to Mr. Milton Van, our wastewater treatment superintendent, and his staff. So first, for the North Side wastewater treatment plant, I'd like to recognize Jeff Cermak, our plant supervisor, Tristan Rickabaugh, the operations supervisor, and Michael Morton. Mike, are you going to, for our biosolids management, and then also all the operators at our plant that are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for their exceptional commitment to excellence to achieve this award. So congratulations. And now for the next plant. Again, Southside was also awarded the same award as Northside, which I think is a tremendous accomplishment for the folks at that plant as well. I'd like to recognize Steve Stiers, our plant supervisor, Rob Gunter, the operations supervisor, and again, all the operators at our plant for achieving this award for the second year in a row. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hold up, friends, stay right there.
So in addition to the Peak Performance Awards, CFPUA was recognized in July from NACWA, the National Association of Clean Water Agencies, for Excellence in Management, their recognition program. This program was launched in 2003 to acknowledge the significant achievements of NACWA member agencies in utility management arena. This program honors utilities for implementing management practices that address the range of challenges identified in the 10 attributes of effective management in the water sector. The gold level is what CFPUA was recognized, and is the second highest award in the Excellence in Management program. It means that we implemented successfully 7 of the 10 attributes of the effective utility management. So with us today, we have staff across the organization, and I've asked that they all come join us up front. In addition to the wastewater treatment staff, we have lab staff from our laboratory. We have Adam Poor and Brittany Cummings. IT staff include Michael Rich, Marcus Robinson. Water treatment, Alan Upham, Alan Sutherland, Matt Darnell. Centralized maintenance staff, Melanie Holt, Ben Sylvester, John Hollerbush. Engineering, Bernice Johnson, Danielle Smith. Additional staff from environmental sustainability, Makiba Robinson, Aaron Tremblay, Tara Arnett, Kat Pullman. Our linear assets, Kathy Willis, Danny Sullivan, Matt Tribbett. Customer service, Ted Beeson, Emily Muniz, Lucy Holliday. Finance, Sherry Alexander. HR, Sherry Brooks. And communications, Cami Bellamy. This is just a sampling of all of the staff that have put in a ton of effort to help us achieve this award. Without them, without us being able to tell their story, we wouldn't be here today. So on behalf of all of the leadership team and our board, thank you so much. And with that, Matt Tribbett, where are you? There you go, I'll let you hold that again.
Thank you all. We so appreciate it, and we like to see the awards every year, so we want to see you back next year as well. But we couldn't be here without you guys on a daily basis, so we so appreciate it. Thank you all.
Just want to make sure. That's exactly right.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
And I know we have a lot of public here today that we don't usually have, so I'm glad that you're here to see this, to see that, you know, we're a nationally recognized organization. I'm glad that the public is here to see this, and not just, you know, us, because we live it on a closer basis than you all. So I hope you're proud of what your ratepayers and your customer bills go towards, because this is an exceptional organization. All right, with that, moving on to the approval of the minutes.
Yes, we have our minutes from our June 14th meeting in the packet, and if there's no discussion, I would make a motion that we adopt minutes and approve those.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now on to the public comments.
Yes, we have Ms. Sidbury from the Carpon Museum. We have several people from Carpon, but she's the representative. And Makiba is going to pass around some photographs that the folks will put in the board see.
Ms. Sidbury, I'm sure Donna will state your name, your address, and you have 4 minutes. Thank you.
Name, rank, and serial number.
My time starts.
Yes, you're good.
Good morning, Cape Fear Public Utilities Authority. My name is Sharon Sidbury. I live at 216 Creekwood Road in Wilmington. I'm here this morning with a few of my neighbors, and we're representing the Old Scottsdale community / Kirkland area. This area is specifically referencing Stevens Church Road, McIntyre Trail, Creekwood Road, Forest Trail, and Omi Lane. Today, we want to present our ongoing concerns regarding the absence of water and sewer in our area for our homes. I'm sure your engineers have briefed you that there are a cluster of homes in our community that either do not have either service, sewer, and there's just a handful that have both. Thus, we are asking the authority to reevaluate the opportunities to provide all of the residents in our community with both water and sewer services at this time. Additionally, we were asking for the authority if they could provide any assistance obtaining grants to construct the water and sewer lines in our community. Also, the grants could help offset the cost for connections, as the majority of the residents in this area are senior citizens and/or they have significant health conditions, most of which are low income and/or on disability. As we all know, the water being utilized in our area is contaminated with the PFAS, that is known by the authority in Hanover County to be in our area, the whole Gen X issue. Sulfur, that makes our water smell like rotten eggs. Iron, the rust. Lime, bacteria, lead, heavy metals, copper, nitrates, calcium, just to name a few. Additionally, these chemicals are also known to be contributors to health issues such as cancer, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune diseases, child development issues. We also have additional burdens of utilizing well water and septic tanks. Initially, if we don't have electricity, our wells don't work. Our wells don't work, we don't have water. We don't have water, we can't flush our toilets. So we would have to manually bring in buckets to flush our toilets when we're without electricity. The maintenance, we have to purchase water softener systems. They usually last 3 to 8 years. I've been in my home about 12 years. I've already replaced it 3 times. We have to purchase salt monthly or bi-monthly. Maintenance to this are extra expensive, having to have a plumber to come out each time. The rust in our appliances, they do not last the expectancy of the manufacturer because of the rust. They just kill the appliance. The septic tanks, they have to be pumped 3 to 5 years. Sooner, depending on utilization. Septic tanks also contaminate the water table. Heavy rains make the septic tanks overflow, contaminating the water table. So therefore, we are, this is a serious concern for all of us. So in my closing, if the authority can be of any additional assistance with this matter to help move this forward, we would greatly appreciate it, and we would work with you as much as possible with any assistance. We thank you for your time and your consideration, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Do you have any questions? Yeah, sure. Does anyone have any questions?
This is the one.
And that's just a sample of some of the water in our area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sidbury.
Thank you.
I'd like to make sure staff is including that in our investigation of additional service areas needed.
Yes, we probably need to set up.
That should have been louder.
So be aware that we have 3 communities that have approached us now in the last year or so. And we're working with each to look at your formal growth policy and look for grant opportunities. So there'll be more information to come in the near future, probably through long-range planning. Be glad to answer any questions as the processes unfold.
Thanks all. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. I'm sorry, we're getting your excuse me. Okay.
I would like to make one comment. For me, this is indicative of what we see around the county with issues. Walnut Hills, this neighborhood, Weaver Acres, and there are others that have come to us that have water and sewer all around them, but we've not yet connected. I know the county, when we approve a new development, we ask they run sidewalks or a walking trail, and the hope is to connect those eventually. With water and sewer with the county, when we ran water and sewer, we would always commit upside of the water lines, the sewer lines to accommodate for future growth. And I think those things have happened. For me now, it's time to figure out how do we connect those to the surrounding areas to provide for total coverage. And I know it's going to take money. I know the county's looking at how can we come to the table and bring some of those resources to bear. But we have enough pockets in our community to where, hoping that eventually we can kind of connect everything together and have continue with water and sewer throughout the county.
Thank you. All right, consent agenda. Any comments, questions? Motion to approve the consent agenda? There were 3 items on the consent.
Second.
Commissioner Bowman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business, administrative reports. Attorney's report.
I don't have a report, but we need to go into closed session to discuss a claim.
And contracts, potential contracts.
And a potential contract negotiation.
In your packet, I would call your attention to the first 5 items. Key indicators report, the safety report, the environmental report, the strategic plan update, which this month is a summary of year-end activities, and the quarterly CIP report. And open the table to questions from staff regarding those first 5 items.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The key indicator report. I think Carl, if you're around, I think. It's a question about, and I've covered this before, but I just don't want to see this fall off the radar. The water in, the water out in the entire system. I noted this month that we had approximately 23 million gallons a day of water treated water going into the system. And coming out through our 2 north side and south side plants, a little over 18 million gallons a day. We're losing approximately 5 million gallons a day. If you pan that out over a month period, that's almost 150 million gallons of water that we can't really account for. I know that you can account for it, Carl, so I just want to like to hear and what your thoughts are. I know that infiltration is a part of it, the answer, but it seems like a lot of water that we're losing out of our system.
Sure, Commissioner Zappi. When we're looking at, the difference between what goes into our system from our water treatment plants and what we receive at our wastewater treatment plants, particularly during the summer months, one of the things that we have to account for is the irrigation water. So obviously, there's quite a bit of irrigation that we typically see during the normal weather periods, and we do account for that. And then separate from that, we have several initiatives underway. One is, as you know, we include a lot of money in our CIP for rehab and replacement of aging infrastructure, both for the sewer infrastructure as well as for the water infrastructure. And that program is planned out throughout the entire 10-year program. But we also do an annual water audit that is established by the American Water Works Association to actually address that non-revenue water or the water that is used for other purposes other than what our customers need it for. So I'd be happy to bring that to long-range planning to show some of the trends and work that we have done on that and continue to do to make sure we understand how we can operate our system as efficiently as possible.
Carl, do you think this 5 million gallons a day, does that fit in your expectation? I mean, you do this every day. I obviously don't. It seems like a lot of water to me, but in the system-wide, in your experience, is this acceptable?
Right, so when we look at that, and when we do that audit, we have to account for the irrigation water, we have to account for firefighting water, we have to account for the flushing that we do in our system to maintain water quality, and various other things. And when we do that entire audit, where's all the water going, we are well within the normal standards of utilities across the country. But again, I'll be happy to share the details behind that in language.
Thanks, Carl.
Are there any other questions for the first 5 items? And I'd like to offer a more detailed briefing on item 6, if you'll follow me along in the pack.
We just passed out something.
Now, as you're aware, since October of 2022, our new granular activated carbon deep bed treatment facility has been online and is producing some of the best municipally supplied water in our nation. Now, our focus at this treatment facility has been, of course, Gen X chemicals and the subsequent number of PFAS compounds identified as sourced from the Chemours DuPont Fayetteville Works site, 55 miles upstream of our intake at the Cape Fear River. Now, shortly after our new facility came online, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, proposed new national primary drinking water standards for 6 types of PFAS, including the Gen X compounds. Our measured compliance with these proposed regulations is exemplary. This year, we have dedicated ourselves to learning how to operate our new facility and setting benchmarks that exceed future regulatory limits for reliability and consistency. And as you recall, we collectively set a goal for our GAC changeout of targeting one particular compound, PFMOAA, where we would change out our carbon when we reach or exceeded 10 parts per trillion. Our utility is also actively supporting several research projects to test new technologies to identify, remove, and dispose of PFAS. As recently as this month, we've been asked to support additional national testing with EPA. And they have asked for us to participate as an advanced facility to benchmark against. And I've authorized this latest partnership. We also continue our long-standing commitment to be transparent by publishing every testing result that we obtain, even those using experimental testing methods currently not recognized by EPA as standard, i.e., valid and repeatable. We do this because we're aware that scientific knowledge concerning PFAS continues to evolve and grow. So using the experimental modified methods for testing, we are monitoring for several types of PFAS that are regularly breaking through the granular activated treatment process. At least some of this is to be expected as we continue to learn how to use and optimize our new treatment facility. And we'd be glad to provide a more detailed report on the performance of the GAC system and plan on providing it as a matter of course after 1 year of operation and experience with it. Now, one of these compounds we are seeing in low concentrations in both the raw water and the finished water is a compound called PFPRA, also known as PPF acid. And it's recently received some national attention that we think warrants a discussion with you, our board. Now, PPF acid, or PFPRA, is an ultra-short chain PFAS and was the subject of an April 2023 published research paper regarding drinking water across the nation. This published research paper used some of these uncertified, non-standard experimental testing methods to look at PFAS that is beyond the types that EPA is currently testing for. And that research paper determined that this particular type of PFAS compound, PFPRA, is prevalent across the nation at numerous locations in both raw water and in finished water. Coincidentally, EPA developed a low-confidence reference dose for this same compound in July of this year. This is the subject of a CFPUA staff-generated white paper, which is in your packet. And it covers major points that we'd like to bring to your attention, including the following. PFPRA is an ultra-short chain PFAS, and it presents some unique water treatment challenges. PFPRA was the first PFAS compound to break through our new GAC filters at the Swinney plant, and we announced that in a public notice accordingly. It has been detected in drinking water sources across the nation, in rainwater and snow and groundwater and other media. It's available as a commercial product. It is a byproduct of PFAS manufacturing and can be produced from the degradation of longer chain PFAS compounds. It has, of course, been detected at the Fayetteville Works as part of Chemours' compliance with the consent order obligations. We firmly believe that this particular compound, like many others, now observed in the surface and groundwaters of the lower Cape Fear region, originates at the Fayetteville Works facility, and as a result of Chemours DuPont's PFAS manufacturing over the last 40 years. Now, while academic and commercial lab methods to analyze for the presence of PFAS advance, right now we have no standard method for this compound. Research on PFPRA's risk to human health is very scant. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency released this low-confidence reference dose on July 7th and updated it as recently as July 24th. Now, a reference dose is just one input that EPA uses to create non-regulatory health advisory levels, what we call HALs. This recently published PFPRA reference dose is 2 significant digits higher than Gen X. The HAL for Gen X is 10 parts per trillion. So following that chain of logic, 2 significant digits for a future PFPRA HAL would be over 1,000 parts per trillion, actually 2,100. Our highest finished water detections for PFPRA were 35 parts per trillion. And most of the time it is much, much lower. So at this time, we do not believe PFPRA in the concentrations that we're observing is a matter of concern that requires immediate action, but we are taking the following actions. Staff is working on several fronts with our partners at the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality and in academia to try to better understand the potential implications of PFPRA on our operations and to test new sorbents, compounds that remove PFAS with an eye towards treating ultra-short chain PFAS in the future. We'll ask NCDENR and the Secretary Scientific Advisory Board to add PFPRA to their action plan for evaluation. As of July 31st, this compound was not on their radar in terms of the action plan, and it wasn't even on EPA's strategic roadmap to address PFAS. Quite a bit of the academic community and ourselves were surprised to see EPA issue a low confidence reference dose for this. Now, we've been using only PFMOAA as a benchmark to change out GAC. And this has led to change out thresholds rising from our planned 10,000 bed volumes to 13,000 plus bed volumes. You have a graphic in front of you that shows you what that looks like. We're planning to amend our change out approach. We'll have a dual trigger. it'll be either approximately 10,000 bed volumes, because it's an incomplete or a rough approximation. We're projecting when these things will reach certain levels. So approximately 10,000 bed volumes, or 10 parts per trillion of PFMOAA in our post-filter sampling. And we'll see how this impacts the total PFAS post-filter sampling trends and report the results. We'll also monitor the evolving science regarding this and other short-chain PFAS and mixtures of compounds. And we'll recommend corrective actions if new data suggest that immediate action is required. So as a reminder, your new deep bed facility is performing extremely well in removing Gen X and other compounds proposed for regulation. It's also very flexible in design and capable of modification to accept other novel sorbents if the need arises based on new information. So that is a summary of our briefing. Do you have any questions that we should attempt to answer at the table?
I have just a couple quick technical. In figures 2 and 3, we're calling it nanograms per liter. I was wondering the reason we chose that over part trillion. I also wondered if we should try to put that unit on before the axis, just since we're sharing this public. It doesn't have a part.
That was actually a staff comment also. Nanograms per liter is parts per trillion. The laboratory uses nanograms per liter. We communicate in parts per trillion. That's an amendment that we're going to make to the report. We will.
And on this one, I think it needs units on the weight axis as well, just for public consumption.
And we're going to make this white paper publicly available. If you go to our website today, you can see our compliance with the proposed regulations. You can also see trending and graphing for all of the 65 compounds that we follow. So transparency remains a key component of our public outreach. We've looked at this at staff in depth, and if we saw a concern that needed immediate action, we would come to you today recommending a series of actions. But the reference dose, which has low confidence that was published, when placed inside of the formula used to generate the Gen X maximum contaminant level, that reference dose yields a potential health advisory level or a potential MCL in the thousands. And we're seeing this particular PFAS anywhere from 15 to 20 with a high of 35. So at this time, we don't believe that it is appropriate to be looking to change out the approach, the way we treat PFAS. But we are going to be working to experiment with new novel sorbents. The first of which will be a project at the Richardson facility. You may recall that we have PFAS issues in groundwater there and are designing and piloting a project to remove PFAS. We're going to take special interest not just in the long and middle chain, but in the ultra short chain in that piloting process. Any other questions?
And why are we seeing this one breakthrough? Is it the ultra chain pure chemistry here we're looking at?
Well, right now we're still investigating, and it's speculation, but certainly its size seems to indicate that it would be one of the first things to break through. And then we're also observing something called desorption. It is the process of large chain PFAS coming along and knocking loose smaller chain PFAS that has been previously bound by GAC. This new facility, we need some time to refine the way we operate it. We're learning as we go. And this is quite likely something that will be refined as we get better at operating the facility. But these ultra short chain, it's also quite likely that they're going to break through the particular sorbent compounds that we have in place today. The question is, do we need to be studying to look at other sorbent compounds to capture short chain also permanently? And we are going to study it. And right now, we don't have any evidence that suggests that we need to be rushing to change something out, that there's time to study and learn more.
And by your comments you just made today, we're seeing the PFPRA continue to rise. I note on the graph that we were handed here, it's at 11.75 parts per trillion. That's on July 28th. And we referenced in this conversation 13 to 15 parts per trillion. So we're seeing it continue to rise off the chart.
So what you have in front of you, the way we measure compliance for these chronic compounds, and remember, there is no compliance guidance at this time, so we're applying the logic of proposed rules to these new compounds. The way we measure that is through a rolling annual average, not individual peaks. And we've noticed that there is a downward trend in the river. There's been no detection actually in the river for the last couple of cycles, testing cycles. And that should lead to a downward trend in our treatment process. So we're suggesting that it's too early to say. Let us observe what is happening. And let us, instead of using just PFMOAA as our benchmark for changeout, return to a target closer to 10,000 bed volumes and observe the reaction to that operational change. And in the meantime, we'll start testing novel sorbents. Other questions?
So I've another question. Sort of dovetailing what you were just talking about. It seems to me historically we do see levels rise in the summer. I wonder if it wouldn't be helpful, and this may already exist on our website, to have an intake versus or raw water versus clean water in the same graph, so we can see sort of how they track together. Is that something that we're already doing? This
We are,
new guide?
yes. It's on our website.
That'd be helpful to have within the white paper at some point as it gets modified. My other question is, this is kind of an engineering question, sort of talking to. Are we going to, as we see increasing analytical methods, are we going to be sort of chasing every new novel compound as we're able to? I think that's something that we need to work in conversation to get sort of level set with the public and with the board, that as these emerging contaminants are better able to be identified, we're going to see them. I guess the hope is that they're going to be below certain levels, but.
I think.
And that's why we're using, PFMOA is kind of a surrogate.
Right.
And if you're removing that, that was the initial intent. If you're removing that, we're removing everything else.
Right.
Now this new compound popped up, and like Ken said, we can evaluate that. But every year there's new compounds that are added to the suite of 65 that we're analyzing for today. So it's a continuous optimization process of our GAC as new information becomes available.
And Jessica, just as a side note, when we started this in 2017, we could monitor for like 13.
Right.
Then it went to 25, then it went to 45, now it's at 65. And we've had a standing order with our lab that as they can monitor for any new compound, research method or certified method, that they add it to our list. So that's why it popped up. It popped up when we did split samples with a lab, and then the lab we chose couldn't do it, but then we said, okay, we need you to get it. Within 2 months, they were able to analyze for it. Now, their methodology, they had some contamination issues, but eventually, now we're monitoring for it without, with a little bit more reliability, but it's still not certified methods. But we continue to report it out, and we will continue to see those. But these ultra short chains are not just difficult to treat, they're also difficult to test for without contamination.
I think that's an important point to leap off of, to make to the board and to the public. We are reporting publicly data that is experimental, which means there's different confidences in the data, ranging from very low to medium to high. And we started reporting PPF acid, or PFPRA, on our website in January of 2022. We didn't gain confidence in the testing method until April of 2023, and actually switched laboratories to look for more repeatability and reliability. And that's the nature of using experimental methods. For the public, and especially on our website, we present first and foremost the methods and the data that comes from EPA certification. And there's 6 compounds within that EPA certification proposed for regulation, and our compliance with that is exemplary. But in full transparency, also on our website, you dive a little deeper, you can see all of these experimental compounds with various confidences in the data. We now have enough confidence in the PFPRA data as of April to share with you that we think that it is accurate, valid, and repeatable, even though it is not part of a standard method.
Compounds may emerge. And throughout time, if we analyze those, we work with the EPA, but also find different media to treat what may come down the line.
Mm-hmm.
We want to let the public know that we're ahead of the curve, so to speak, in our way.
That's correct. That is an accurate summary of our briefing.
Not sure. Yeah, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist, but I do appreciate the transparency here on this and piggyback off of Commissioner Barfield a little bit. It seems like, I mean, due to the diligence of you, our staff, and that we are truly on the cutting edge of this. I mean, are any other authorities, is this even on their radar at all, and how would they treat it if it was? I mean, we're already looking to how we can treat it, and how we can be flexible with our existing filters. Could you just touch on that?
Yes, we actually brought this to the Department of Environmental Quality's attention. It was not on their radar at all before we brought it to their attention. So we are, because of your action in the past, at the forefront of the technology for treatment. There are over 5,000 utilities nationwide that, under the new proposed rule, will have to do something similar, another 2,400 that will have to modify treatment technologies already in place. And utilities nationwide, our professional organizations, even EPA, as of the announcement of today, are turning towards us to help develop answers that could be applicable nationwide. So yes, we are at the forefront of learning and understanding and dealing with the PFAS issue by necessity.
Yeah. Ken, one of the most interesting pieces of information in my mind here is why the EPA would reach down and start with the reference dose of this. And that, of course, is the first step, as you mentioned, to setting an MCL for this somewhat almost unknown PFAS, one of the many of literally thousands of PFAS that are out there. But they chose this one to go down and trigger that. Do you have any thought or any, it just seems really interesting.
It is, because it was not on their strategic plan. You know, they announce ahead of time what they're looking at and why. And North Carolina is actually more advanced, in my opinion, than EPA, and North Carolina's action plan didn't include it. So it may be a consequence of the report that was produced in April that suggested using these experimental methods, there are more types of PFAS out there. EPA is in the middle of gathering information under the unregulated contaminant monitoring rule using the standard approved methods that cover 29 contaminants to determine next steps. And Those in academia who believe that EPA should be using methods that include more than 29 are suggesting that they should encompass some of these experimental methods. And this may be a reaction to that paper and that suggestion, looking at the most prevalent type of PFAS that is not currently in a standard method. Other questions?
Yeah, one last thing, go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, I saw a press release where the health department had issued a catch and release situation with the fish up in the upper Cape Fear region between here and the problem child that we are adopting, Comores. Are we in lockstep with that? And those chemicals, is this the same chemical that you're speaking on now? Is this some other foreign chemical that we're gonna have to address in the near future?
It's a different chemical. What you're referring to is a human health consumption advisory for fish based on a different type of PFAS. The consumption advisories are falling behind other regulatory actions. So that's I think that the science around human consumption versus for food versus human consumption for water or other sources is a little less developed. Other questions?
One last thing, since we're having this discussion for the benefit of the public, I think we should talk about where these are coming from. Presumably the consent order sort of put a bubble around the plant. They have their air stack filters on, they're building their wall. We explain where these chemicals are now coming from. Presumably they're not pouring them into the water anymore.
Well, if I might take a stab at that.
Yeah. Sorry.
It is true that our neighbor, Comores, has taken some action after being required to do so to try to remediate pollution on their site. But for 40 years prior to that, there was atmospheric releases and surface water releases that ended up polluting groundwater. So we're dealing with the consequences of 40 years of pollution. We wish them all the best in remediating the site that exists and encourage them to also remember that they have 40 years of pollution and to act accordingly by coming to their good neighbors downstream and reconciling.
Thank you.
That's all we have.
Thanks all. Executive Director's Report. Okay, moving on to committee reports. The first item is the nominations committee.
Nomination committee met and decided to make me chair and vice chair.
And secretary and treasurer.
And secretary and treasurer. Jennifer Adams, Whitell, and myself, we met. And the slate we proposed is Jennifer Adams as chair, Dean Hackney as vice chair, and Jessica Cannon as secretary.
And Wes Corder as treasurer. That's on the next page.
As treasurer. And I'll make a motion to that effect.
Motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Any other nominations from the floor? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you all. And now moving on to the executive committee. So the executive committee met last week, August 2nd. Those meeting minutes are in your packet as well for review. Moving on to long range planning committee, they did not meet last month. And we'll now have a new committee chairman, Mr. Hackney, moving forward.
Thank you, Dean.
And, yeah, and for their next meeting, so we appreciate you taking the helm of that, thank you.
Got nothing else.
In your side gig.
We appreciate it.
All right, and so moving on to finance committee, Mr. Norris.
Yes, Finance Committee met on August 2nd. Those meeting minutes are also in your packet. And I'm going to call on John McLean, our CFO, to give us an update for the July financials.
Good morning. We are right in the middle of our year-end close and our annual audit.
And so what we have for you are some preliminary numbers in terms of a surplus. I'd like to draw your attention to line 23 down here. Anything over that $50 million unassigned fund balance target is considered surplus, and we have a process to declare that once a year after the audit's done, and we can assign it for various purposes. So you're looking at this point, and this may come down a little bit, likely will not go up, but we're looking at about a $9.5 million surplus for FY23. Surplus is due to, one of two things or both things. It's either our revenues are outperforming where we thought they would be in terms of the budget, or it's the spend side is less than what we budgeted, and this year it's a mixture of both. Obviously, we always want to forecast as well as we can on both the revenue and the expenditure side, but we don't have a crystal ball, and I'd like to say that, this certainly is good news. For one thing, it's certainly better than the alternative of a deficit. And second of all of that funding is going to go to some purpose that will reduce rates in the future. Likely, we're going to set it aside in a capital reserve for Southside to reduce how much we're going to have to borrow, less interest, less debt service. That's less in terms of future rates. And the other thing I'd like to mention is too, during the budget process, we discussed a series of, this year and then an additional 4 years of 4.6% rate increases. All other things being equal, of course, we don't have, the crystal ball over the next 4 years, but all else being equal, this surplus would result in something less than 4.6% over the next 4 years. So are there any questions?
I make a statement. It would have been great to have known this 3 months ago.
Sure.
As we're debating the budget, debating rate increases and all those things, knowing that we would have a surplus would definitely make us think a little bit differently. I think, just one person's comment.
So we're rarely in a position to be able to forecast with accuracy. What we would share with you is we present our projections conservatively in such a way as we set up the opportunity for pleasant surprises and lower increases in the future. We were just looking at one increase. I think that data would be critically important. But what we're looking at is 5. The decision was made on the first one. And this plus the low interest loans plus other activities that are underway, we hope will bring to you and the other board members a recommendation of something less than 4.6, maybe much less than 4.6. But we need to see what happens in the economy and in revenues and expenditures between now and February. But I agree, it's just a single year increase with no projections of future rate increases. I think this data will show you moving forward. If you're looking at something over 5 years, we hope it's presented as good news for you.
And I also wanted to mention too, we did project in our modeling, that model that produced the 4.6. We projected a $5 million surplus for this year, so it's obviously twice as much or roughly. Just to give you a sense of scale in terms of what we're talking about, had we known that the surplus was going to be more to the tune of $9.5 million, we would have probably been talking about maybe like a 4.5 instead of a 4.6 over the next 5 years. So really not that much of a difference.
Or 1/10% in terms of differentiation.
And I was hesitant to kind of put some numbers to it because we've had a number of things develop since the budget. Ken mentioned that $35 million SRF. That's going to have some effect. But we are looking at hopefully coming to the table next year and talking about something less than that 4.6.
It's always the goal to beat them all.
Go ahead.
I think it's important as a board that we've also put this information into context, back into the executive committee's report, especially dealing with cost burden, the metric that we have developed for ourselves. As we've seen, the average cost burden for low-income census tracts that we set was 1.7%. Now risen that to 1.89% is what the reality is. So translation of that is that our services are becoming less affordable for our own adopted metric. So when we talk about having surpluses, it's important that we keep that in mind. That's just a general comment.
And it may be the way we present the information. If it comes across that we have buckets of money hanging around, what we're talking about is the hole's a little less deep than we thought it was. It's probably a better way to characterize it. We still have a long way to go to be able to fund the capital improvement projects that we have in front of us. And we're sharing the good news. The hole's a little less deep.
I think it would be an entirely different conversation if we didn't have that $250 million price tag.
Oh,
So, you know, it's
without a doubt.
completely different, yeah. But knowing that that's out there, trying to offset that.
And then we have what looks like some good news on the horizon as well to help address that, but that's just going to be one step in hopefully a series of steps that will help reduce that at all. Again, just a useful reminder that we've got a lot of people in our service area here. We're watching their affordability continue to rise. And that needs to be a continuing part of our conversation.
And, you know, rates is certainly, related to affordability. The other thing that it's related to is financial sustainability, right? And so those things are quite often at direct odds with each other. So, we're looking at both things. Obviously, we have a number of metrics: debt service coverage, the debt to capitalization ratio, the fund balance and days cash on hand, to kind of monitor that financial sustainability piece. And, now that we have that, officially adopted metric on affordability, we'll be looking at both, in tandem. I just wanted to point out that those are quite often diametrically opposed. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Thank you, John. That's the end of our report.
Okay. Sustainability Committee did not meet last month, so we'll have, we're going to meet this month. We'll have an update at the next board meeting. Moving on to the consolidation study update.
The June and July progress reports in the packet. Workshop held on July 25th, where the consultant presented the results from financial pro forma analysis to the CFPUA and town representatives. Details about pro forma will be shared with the board. And the consultant is currently working on the draft report of the feasibility study, which is expected to be completed in the next couple of months. That is all.
That's the committee updates. Any old business come before the board? All right. Any other questions, comments, closing comments, questions? All right. With that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Prince.
So I should have made a comment earlier. Let's go back to the Scotts Hill Stevens Road situation. They're building a lot of apartment complexes, new developments in that area. And for us to see that water in that bad a shape, are we that far behind that we don't know those people would, so how can I say this? Do we not test the water outside of our service area for future involvement of the residents as like Old Scotts Hill, Wrightsboro, Castle Hayne, and Chair Road, and those areas? Do we not think about those areas and how long those people have been on septic and pumps and situations like that, and as far as thinking for the future and getting them involved in the system and making and creating new customers? Like we say we really care about doing is making new customers. Why are we waiting for these people to come to this meeting and drag us? And that was just humiliating to see that water in that bad a shape. I don't think, I've never seen water that bad. And for those people to have to drink that and they take a bath in that, that's to me, that was humiliating for us, for them to bring that to us in that bad a shape. And what are we doing about the future of that situation?
I would like to provide some feedback.
You feel this one? I'm more than happy to jump in on that, but you go ahead, Ken. It's your job, yeah.
We have been working in partnership with the county to create short, middle, and long-term solutions. The short-term solution, especially in the area of PFAS contamination, revolves around a generous grant program from the county to site 4 or 5 water stations. And we're in the process of finalizing an interlocal agreement with the county to utilize that grant funding. The county staff will give us direction on where those water stations need to be placed. And we'll give the county feedback on the folks that are talking to us. And in partnership, the first water station is planned for the Rock Hill community. And the ILA, the interlocal agreement, so we can make that happen, will come forward, we hope, in September. The middle plan, the interim or middle approach, is the county has offered, again generously, to develop a funding program to connect people who are immediately adjacent to our existing infrastructure. So we don't have to extend water lines. There's as many as 1,000 potential properties that appear to be occupied. We got to dive in and look at it that could benefit from this program. The county brought forward $500,000. And again, we're working on an ILA that will allow us to determine how to prioritize individuals that would come in the door. We think that amount of money will cover somewhere between 50 and 60 connections. And we anticipate that the county would bring forward similar funding over the next couple of years as we work through those who could connect. We're trying to make sure that we don't overlap with the Kilmore's required connections. Right now there's 57 folks that Kilmore's is required to connect, or Kilmore's is discussing connecting with us. So we're hopefully looking at connecting within a year or so, 100 and some folks. And then the long-term solution, again brought forward by our partners at the county, was to fund a prioritization study to study not just those communities that have a PFAS issue, but those communities that have failed septic tanks, and to create a new prioritization plan. The last prioritization plan was in 2007, create a new prioritization plan. And then our intention with that study, which would be out about this time next year, is to go forward to the community endowment and to the state and to other grant agencies and seek funding to extend water lines and to extend sewer lines. And that has been the single most difficult policy issue that we've had to wrestle with outside of PFAS. And it's a policy issue that the nation and the states wrestle with. How do you extend very expensive water and sewer infrastructure to existing communities? Development is set up in such a way as development pays for itself, so there are no community dollars invested that are not returned. And we hope that our plan, short, middle, and long term, will eventually meet the needs of the community.
Is that accurate? Yes, the only thing I would add to it is, I jump right to that long term. I know in this committee, in our organization, I've spoken before about the vision here. Soon, I hope New Hanover County will all be covered by CFPUA. It's a matter of, how do we extend our water distribution system? It turns out that it's not easy and it's not cheap. Getting the studies alone, as Ken was referring to, are costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who pays for that? And the decision is made, the ratepayers should not pay for studies that would, increase our water distribution system to those that are currently not a part of our system. And that's where the county has stepped in and said, we'll pay for this. But there's a day coming when we're all going to need to be on water and sewer. Hollis, I felt the same way you did when I saw those photographs. It's embarrassing that we have a county and citizens who have to live there with that kind of water coming in. We're taking the steps. It's incredibly frustrating that government takes so much time to do it and the cost is so much, but nobody is saying no. We're making it happen. It's just taking some time.
I would add that tonight, the Community Endowment, of which I'll be attending, will have a meeting to discuss their prioritization in terms of the next grant cycle that opens in September. We may, and I use the word may, I want to be very careful, may have enough information to make a application for the Rock Hill community for water only. We've never attempted an application for the Community Endowment. This is new territory for us. Don't want to set unreasonable expectations, but it's a demonstration of our continued commitment to look for solutions. Other feedback?
That's enough.
We have a few projects on. Okay, with that, I need a motion to go into closed session.
Yes, to discuss a personnel matter, contract negotiations, and contract.
And we'll take a 5-minute bio break.
Need a second.